to 9 p.m. for our new show, The Nightcap, with your host, Shar. Tune in to the Supreme Vibes Radio this and every Sunday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for our new show, The Nightcap, with your host, Charlene Clark Cura. Yes, our new show, The Nightcap, promises to be a scintillating show to heighten your relationship appetite. Come and join in the conversation, share your experience, and let us learn from each other. That's The Nightcap, this and every Sunday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You do not want to miss the show. Tune in right here on the Supreme Vibes Radio, your radio station of choice.
Zongo zongo go zongo zeng. Zongo zongo go zongo zeng. Zongo zongo go zongo zeng. Hey, this is King Yellowman, and I'm in Dustin. Charlene Clark, King Yellowman said that. How you doing? Support her, my people, my fans.
Quench this all the girls into. Supreme Vice Radio, quench this all the girls into. Girl, you got smile so bright. At night you don't need no light. Supreme ladies.
Yes, my listeners. Yes, welcome to another week's episode of the Nightcap program with your girl, Charlene Clark Cura. Now, listeners, last week we had a nice show last week where we spoke to the ladies about how to engage in relationship, after being single with children. Now, this week we're going to speak to the gentlemen. We are not leaving the men out. Now, before I start the show, I first want to remind you of to give you some information, right? Now, first, I must do this. I cannot start the show without doing this. I must say welcome to all my listeners near and far. I want to welcome you specifically to this show, the Nightcap program. And also to the new listeners, I want to say welcome to you, and I hope you will stick and stay. Before we get into the meat of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that we have various programs running on the Supreme Vibes Radio. We have the Nightcap program that you are now in tune to. We also have the Inspirational Show that is aired on Saturdays, called the Inspirational Saturdays Show with yours truly. We also have the Sex Talk, Sexty with Nadia Alexandra. And then we have our live DJs who plays on various days at various times. So we have DJ Biggs who plays on Friday from 8 to 10 p.m. We also have DJ Biggs playing on Sunday from 1 to 6 p.m. We have DJ Tyrical who plays from 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturday and on Sunday. We have DJ Kurt who plays from 5 to 8 p.m. on Fridays, and he also plays from 8 to 10 p.m. on Saturdays. Now that we have those information out of the way, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you again. Now, do remember that you can also join us on Supreme Vibes Radio, Supreme_Vibes Radio on Instagram. So follow us on Instagram. You can also follow me on Instagram at Design to Inspire. That's Designed TWO Inspire. Also, you can send me a Facebook friend request at Charlene Clark Cura. You can also log on to my YouTube channel. And for those who are watching live now, welcome to my YouTube channel, Designed to Inspire. So we are live on YouTube right now with this program. You can hop onto my YouTube channel, Designed to Inspire. Feel free to comment there, to also ask your questions there, and also to subscribe. Listeners, to participate in tonight's show, you may do so by texting me via WhatsApp on 1-876-367-0127. Or you can WhatsApp call me on 1-876-367-0127. Also, you can share your comments and ask your questions. For those of us who are listening live on YouTube, you can share your comments and ask your questions on my YouTube channel. We're live and in living colors. Okay, listeners, so this week's episode of the Nightcap, we're referring to dating, and we're looking at how we include persons in our lives when we would have, become parents, and for one reason or another, we are now single, but we have the children. Now, I spoke at great length last week to the women, and I gave some of my, do remember it's opinionated, do remember that, we share our opinions respectfully, and we respect each other's opinion, and this is not factual, all right? We're just here sharing. So I engaged the ladies last week, as we looked at how now do we enter into a relationship now that we are mothers, but we're still single, right? And it's time now to step out of the single ladies zone. But at this moment, stepping into the zone of being in a relationship does not only involve us now. We now are taking others with us, and by others I mean our children. How do we engage? And I even after the show, I got some questions and comments, mostly comments where persons were saying, do remember that not only females are left to care for the children, some males too are left to care for the children. And I did say yes, I would be speaking to the males this week. So welcome. Now, dating, single but ready, single and ready for dating, right? Men, there are a few things that, if you were listening last week, some things would remain the same for you in terms of how you include a person in your life now that you're ready to date. Some things naturally will be different. So what I want to say to the males from the get-go, you have a harder task at identifying the right person that you need in your life as a man being a single parent, right? You have a harder task in identifying, that right partner, that right person for you now that you're ready for dating. Now, yes, we do know that there are men who are left to care for the children. And when I say left to care for the children, it can be because of various reasons, right? But whatever the reason is, or whatever the reasons are, we do have men who are the nurturer of the children, and and the mothers are nowhere to be found. And so they too will have to decide when it's time to include someone in their lives, how they're going to, the process, how they're going to engage, and the process, what is the process going to look like, right? How is it going to unfold? Men in a different way, men seem to date differently. What do I mean by that? I do believe that, for men, the commencement of an engagement, a relationship, or even a discussion is based on visual, right? So a man will see someone who he likes, right? Or he likes based on how the person looks. But before we get there, men, you have to also take time for yourselves, right? Do not rush into a relationship because you are pressured. And when I say pressured, what do I mean? Men comes under a lot of pressure in comparison to women. If they are at a particular age and don't have any children as yet, if they are at a particular age and they're not married, if they are at a particular age and they're single, they do come under pressure more than us women, you know. Their friends are really cruel to them, not to mention their families. So first you want to ensure that you are strong enough to not to listen to the noise, right? To bond with yourself, to fix yourself, because when a relationship ends, and I keep saying this and I cannot say it enough, when a relationship ends, it's not just one person who caused the relationship to end. The relationship is between two individuals. When the relationship ends, it means that both individuals were unable to ensure that the relationship lasted, right? And so because of that reason, or whatever the reasons are, it might be a plethora of reasons, the relationship ends. When a relationship ends, I believe that whether male or female, before you enter into another relationship, it is imperative that you do some self-retrospection. What do I mean? Fix yourself. No situation is perfect. No one is perfect. And while the relationship is going downhill, while the relationship is going sour, we will argue, we will have discussions with our families and friends, and usually we say what we want them to hear because we want the friends and the family members to be on our side. Rarely we say what exactly is happening, right? Because many of us, we don't want to hear, oh, come on, it's your fault. So men, just as females, when a relationship comes to an end, what you need to do before you start to party or you pick up another at the bar or somewhere else, or at the park or at the church or at a wedding or at a funeral, you need to do some self-retrospection and to look at what your character, to really examine your character, doctor your character as it relates to, okay, what didn't work? How could I make a difference? What do I need to fix about me? What are the things that she kept on telling me that I was not listening to? Am I selfish? Am I selfless? Do I need to be more selfless? Do I need to be a little bit more selfish, right? Do I need to be a little bit more open? You need to doctor your character before you enter into a relationship. Take some time for yourselves, right? So take some time to heal. Take some time for yourselves. Now, when you enter in a relationship and you find that you're comparing and you're saying, oh, my previous relationship was not like this, and these are the things that I used to do in my previous relationship, and you're taking baggage with you. But when you take time to heal, you leave them where they're supposed to be left, right? Usually when we take baggage along with us, it's because we rush into finding another relationship before we do or do justice, right? So take some time to heal. So after the healing process and you're ready to step out, now you're the ones who are left with the children, right? So you have to care for the child or the children, right? You are a single father, right? And now it's time for you to step out. Now, just as the females, when you're stepping out, you have to be cognizant of the fact that you are not just stepping out for yourselves. You're stepping out for yourself and your children. And so whatever decision you make, you have to bear in mind that the children are a part of that decision, because the person who you will entertain, who you will engage, who will one day become your partner, will now be in your children's lives. All right? So once you've healed and you're ready to date, the same thing goes. Because men are more visual than females, they would seek their partner based on what they see. So probably something about the female's hair, probably it's how she dressed, probably it's how she speak, how she walks. Of course, the shape, but visual, what they see would definitely first attract them. So men, bear in mind that when someone tell you who she is, from the first instance, believe it. Your dress, your deportment, your decorum, places you go, things you say, you do, speaks a lot about you. Speaks volume about you. So men, you have to be careful where you're going to seek your next partner. You have to be careful how you're going to seek your next partner. You have to be careful of those visuals, because let's say you decide that this person look a particular way, right? Dresses a particular way. You have children that you're caring for, female children as well, tweens, that's how they're calling it now, tweens. And you want to ensure that whomever you bring into your children's life will be able to set good examples for them, especially the female children. So what you need to do is to step back a little and say, well then, listen, I'm attracted to this person, but think about your female daughter. 15 years from now or 10 years from now, would I be comfortable if my female daughter replicates what I'm seeing here? Sometimes and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go to a particular function and you're going to stop and be thinking for an hour, half an hour, 2 hours before you approach the person. This is something that you will have to do before you get into the space. So this is a discussion that you're going to have with yourself. You're going to say, self, and self is going to answer you and say, yes. And you're going to say, well, listen, I am now ready to go out into the dating world. I want you to help me with my visuals because I have female children and I want someone to set good examples for them. And many men and those males who are listening, please, you can text me, you can, if you're watching live, you can comment here. Be real, be frank. Many men, they will go out with a woman dressed a particular way, but their wives or female daughter to dress that particular way. No, it's not happening. They will look at a woman dressed a particular way, wearing, certain type of clothing. But let it be their mother, daughters, or wife dressing in that same way. It's not happening. It's not happening. So once you are ready to go out in the dating world and you're seeking your next partner, you're seeking your wife, you have to bear in mind what sort of example you want to bring in your house. And I say this because remember, men are visual. Men are visual more than females, and they gain their sense of attraction based on how the female look. Right? So you have to be careful. Thanks, Alexia. I see you. You have to be careful when you are engaging that individual in your life, right? So you decide that you are now ready for dating. You are now out scoping. You are now ready to introduce someone in your life. Now it's the time for you to, how do I put this? Pick, choose, and yes, refuse. Remember, you're not in a rush. It is better to court first. And in courting, you are really, shortlisting. Like you apply for a job and the recruiting officer shortlist. You're the recruiting officer, right? So you're really shortlisting. And by shortlisting, you are looking at personality and character, right? And you are ensuring, listen, even after doing those things, I am not saying that it's going to be perfect, but at least it's better to try to ensure that you get what you want in your house rather than throwing your hands up in the air to say, well, then it doesn't matter what I do, it's not going to be perfect, and end up in a nightmare situation, right? Remember, nothing is perfect. However, we can control certain situation, and we can control certain activity that we bring into our homes, right? Now, once you have decided upon the individual, it's the same thing like I said last week when I was addressing the females. Dating should not be taking place at the home for you, gentlemen. So you're not taking her home to meet your children. You're not taking her home at 10 o'clock when the children are asleep because you want to do whatever it is that you want to do at that time, because you never know, right? You don't want to use the home as that meeting space during the initial stage of the relationship. You want to keep that out for a moment in time, right? Until you are somewhat sure that you're ready to introduce this female into your home. So what you need to do is between you and the female. First, you have to get to know her somewhat and allow her to get to know you somewhat. And now, if you are always taking her to a party to chillax a bit with her, you are not allowing yourself to know her, because remember that women interact and act and perform and behave differently in different scenario. So at a party, I'm a different person. At church, I'm a different person. At the funeral, I'm a different person. Generally, I'm me, but because of the area, because of what is happening, because of where I'm at, I will act differently, right? So I'm not going to bring my party self to church, even if they're playing church, music, hip hop, reggae, whatever they do play in church these days, right? So I'm not going to bring my party self to church. Neither am I going to bring my party self to a funeral. So the circumstances will call for the female to behave differently, right? So you want to ensure that wherever you're taking her to meet with her, to get to know her, to spend time with her, you mix it up as much as possible. No, I'm not saying that you need to go and find a funeral home now, right? Right? But you try to mix it up as much as possible. Include spaces where you would take the family. Let's say you have a particular place that you would take a family. Take her there and see how she would interact. Have a picnic. Do things with her that you would do. Let's say you have a family. She's now a part of your family, right? A whole family. And this is what you would do with a family. Do it with her and see how she would interact and see how she would be how she would accept that kind of engagement environment, right? So you want to move into it slowly, right? It's not about the sexual engagement for now. It's not about that, right? Because believe me, it makes better sense. It makes better sense when you bond with the individual. And what is it? Sex makes better sense when you have a bond with the individual. Without the bond, it is just what it is, a 3-letter word, right? So you want to have that bond with the person, especially if you are serious about this particular person, right? So it's not about you're not thinking about that right now. You're thinking about, okay, I really like this person. I really want to know this person, to be in love with this person. I really want to introduce this person. You do have some men who meet a young lady, and within 2 weeks, she knows everyone in the family. She knows the mother, the father, the sister, the brothers, the friends, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I'm saying that is too quick, right? That is too quick. You have to allow yourself time to know each other. Because listen, that is when, let's say you don't allow time to bond, to know each other. And after 2 weeks, she decided that, listen, this is too much for me. I really don't want to do this anymore. Allow yourself time to get to know each other. The rush for the relationship and companionship will not work, especially if you want it to be serious, and especially at a moment where you are a single father. So the first stage is to do some self-retrospection, ensure that you look at yourself, analyze what you need to fix about yourself, analyze what you need to include when you should enter into another relationship. So you're going to do a fulsome self-retrospection. The second step now is to ensure that whomever it is that you're going to shortlist, you do some shortlist, so you're courting, right? So, but whomever it is that you're going to choose to get to know, it is someone who can set good examples for your children, male and females, for your children, whether they're male and female kids, right? So you want to ensure that this person will set good example for your children. And this is going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen in a day or a night. So you have to give yourself time. The next thing is to ensure that when you are dating, when you are getting to know each other, you do so outside of the home. You're not taking her to the home for dinner. You're not taking her to the home for movies, or you're not taking her to the home for a 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or a 12 o'clock activity, right? You are really engaging her outside of the home, going to different type of places, different type of environments that will allow you to understand her wholesomeness, right? Now, listeners, we take our first break. I really do not want you to go. I'll be right back. I'll continue from here. Keep those messages coming. Stay where you are. I'll be right back after this very short break. staying. Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with me. Now, listeners, do remember to participate. You can text 1-876-367-0127 or call me at 1-876-367-0127 on WhatsApp. You can also to all my viewers on Design to Inspire YouTube, welcome and thank you for sticking and staying. You can leave your comments right here on the topic. All right, so gentlemen, so you have found that person that you have shortlisted, and you are now at this one individual that you have selected. And this one person is the person that you're sharing your space with, you're sharing your time with to get to know, right? Fine. So you are going places, you are doing things together. You will know when it is right. Like I said before, and I'm going to say to you, gentlemen, I cannot say to you after 10 dates or after 30 dates or after 3 months, you will know when the time is right. How you will know? It will come from the lady as well, right? It will come also from the feeling that you have for the individual, the genuine, deep feeling. I'm not just talking about a sensual, sexual feeling. I'm talking about a genuine, deep feeling that you have for the individual that would suggest to you that, listen, this person is the right person. Just as how women knows from the moment a man say hi to a woman, she knows exactly whether or not she's going to engage him into a conversation beyond hi. It's the same thing for a man. From the moment the woman starts showing her ways, right, he knows exactly whether or not, men would say, well, then this is a wife material. Right? She's a wife material. And basically, it's how the woman presents herself, right? Now, gentlemen, I must say this to you. Allow the woman to present herself in a genuine way. Men, it's not for you to show what you can do. It's not for you to show what you have. It's not for you to show your material acquisition because you want this person so badly. Because if you do that, what you are doing is interfering with the process. And when you interfere with the process, then you are going to end up on the wrong side, so to speak. So, gentlemen, even if you have it, you need not show it. Take it from me and let me repeat it. Gentlemen, even if you have it, you need not show it. If you have to show that you can buy her a car for her birthday, or you have the biggest house on the block, or you have the fanciest type of cars. If you have to show that while you are dating the female, it means many things, gentlemen. And one of the thing that I always I always align it with is self-esteem. If you have to let your material acquisition speak for you, you have not done proper self-retrospection because you're still lacking self-esteem. And so what I want you to do, gentlemen, when you're moving into a relationship, remember, single, ready to date, but with children, is to allow the process to flow smoothly without any sort of interference, because you want a genuine female in your life. You want someone who is genuine. It's not about the sugar, right? You want someone who is genuine and who will genuinely be there for you, not because of what you can give her. So it's not about fine dining. Fine if you want to take her fine dining, but also take her to the patty shop, right? Take her to a corner shop, right? Just to understand, just to see how she reacts. Call her up, tell her you're going to pick her up. She step out in her heels and jeans, looking nice, smelling nice. Take her to the patty shop and say, well, then today we're having patties. It sounds crazy, or it sounds like madness, but there is always a method to my madness. Now, if you find a woman who can appreciate you for who you are and not what you have, then you are leading the pack. You begin to lead the pack. Right? But when you decide that, okay, I want to take her to, wherever, I don't even know the fancy places because honestly, I don't go. Yeah. But, you want to take her to these fine dining places because you want to, leave an impression upon her. You are not allowing yourself. What you're seeing, what you will see is what you're giving. Right? So you'll see smiles and you'll get hugs and you'll get praises because she's like, whoa, you've wowed her. But you've wowed her in the wrong way. So gentlemen, be aware of these things too, because sometimes you start the problem unbeknownst to you. Right? So you start the problem without even knowing that you're starting a problem, especially for those gentlemen who really cannot maintain this type of lifestyle because you already have children. You cannot maintain this type of lifestyle and you start it this way, and in the middle, you have to stop. And when you stop in the middle, the relationship stops too, because you have trained this woman to be so, dependent on the things that you are giving her, right? To be so familiar with this type of lifestyle, right? And then in the middle you stop, and then she's going to become frustrated. So gentlemen, do not use the process of dating and courting to show what you have. Do not, right? So be aware of that. So once you start dating and you have shortlisted and you have selected that person that you're spending your time with, you're going out. When that moment comes, when you feel that this is the person that you want to be with, when you feel that feeling that, yes, this is the right individual, that time, there and then, you're going to slowly introduce her into your life a little bit more. It depends on how you want to do it. Some men would prefer to introduce her to the mother before the children, because mothers are usually good at determining personality. I'm not sure if that is true, and I laugh. I'm not sure if that is true. But usually men would like to introduce, or if they have that sister who has a keen eye, to say, well then listen, they want to introduce to that person who they trust first, who they can call back and say, listen, tell me what you think of her. What you think? Do you think it's time for me to introduce her to my children? What do you think? They want that feedback first. So usually before the children come in the picture where you introduce, of course, you talk about your kids with this woman as well. I forgot to mention that. During you talk about your children, right? If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, talk about them, say their names. Talk about the good things. Talk about moments when they're ill and you have to call in sick at work or you can't sleep, especially gentlemen, especially if it's a woman who has not yet have a child for herself. You have to talk about these things, talk about the sick days, talk about the days when you probably have to be in the hospital overnight. And then you talk about the days when you have to take time from work to take the child to the football game or the basketball game or the swimming lessons. Talk about those things so that even if the female is not ready for children, and this will come out in the discussion. So during the date, the courtship, during the time you're getting to know her, and you're allowing her to get to know you, talk about your children. And I say talk about the good and the bad because we are, us parents, we like to talk about only the good things, and even if there are not many good things, we make them up. Boy, brightest kids in school, and we don't usually talk about the bad things. Talk about the bad things too, because if this is a person that you're going to install, and you will hear my phone because I'm getting messages already. If this is a person that you're going to install in your life, trust and believe that the good and the bad will come to the fore. So you want to mix the conversation and to talk about your kids as well. What they like to do, what they don't like, their mannerism, those days when they throw tantrum, especially again, if you are courting a woman who has no children of her own. All right, so now you're ready. Now you've introduced her to that trusted family member. Now you're introducing her to that trusted family member. You need to now decide, is it time for me now to include her into my home? So it's the moment has arrived. And when you're including her into the home, you're not asking her to take her wardrobe to your home, right? So now, instead of having picnics at the park, you are now having picnics at home with the children around the table, right? So you want to ensure that the children now are part of the dating process, part of the dating at home, part of getting to know this individual, right? So you want to include the children into the relationship now that you have decided, right? So now it's time for you to take her home. But before that, I forgot a very important inclusion. You have to talk to the children about this person that you're going to include into the home. So you're going to, just as how you talk to the children, you have to also talk to the prospective individual. So you're going to tell the children about her. You're going to tell the children about the fact that you're dating. You're going to ask them how they feel. You're going to tell them that one day they're going to meet this individual, and you're going to fill them in. You're going to fill them in. Those moments when you are away and you have to pay the nanny to get there to stay with them, you're going to fill them in and advise them and, take them along the way. You're going to prepare them. You're not going to surprise them. You're going to prepare them, right? So you have to prepare the children as well. So it's now time for her to be home. By this time, she would be able to step into the home. She would be able to say the names of the children and identifying them, even though she's meeting them for the first time, because you would have already spoken about them. You would have already shown her pictures of the children, right? So she knows who is who. So by this time, she's comfortable. And by this time, they should be comfortable too, because you would have already engaged them about your female partner. So you're dating her at home. You are allowing her to meet with the kids. You're allowing the kids to bond with her. You're allowing her to see your space as a single father, right? So you are allowing now, you're allowing it to come together nicely. And this is how you should do it, gentlemen, when you are single, with children, but ready for dating. I will take my final break. After this break, of course, I will read some comments and I will wrap it up from here. Please do not go anywhere. Stick and stay right here with me. You're listening to The Nightcap with your girl, Charlene Clark Cura. And this is how we do it right here on the Supreme Vibes Radio. And also to my live viewers, thank you for viewing. I'll be right back. Or we are going to be looking at now, how do we wrap up the engagement? How do we wrap up this engagement in terms of, now that you have decided, now that you have shortlisted, now that you have decided who the individual is going to be in your life, how do you wrap up this engagement? So you introduce the person to your home in a very meaningful way, and now you're able to see firsthand how this person whom you have spent all this time getting to know, how this person whom you have allowed into your life, how this person is now interacting in a real way with your children, how this person is really interacting at home, right? You also have to know what you want in terms of homeliness. Are you okay with a female who is not able to do certain things? You are not looking for a housewife. And females who are listening, yes, I know, we are not housewives. We are not. But do remember that we are nurturers, right? We are the ones who take care of the home, right? And yes, we scream for equality and we want to be equal as the man. That will never happen. That is why the man has a and we have, right? We are opposite. That is why the men are usually stronger, right? That is why we depend on the men to do certain manly stuff. So stop screaming for things that will never happen, and stop screaming for things that really and truly you can't handle. We cannot be equal, right? We will never be equal. And so we have to understand our place at the home as a woman, right? And so I have to say that to the females who are listening. So back to you men. You have to know what you want in your relationship, what you're comfortable with. Because while getting to know the female, you should ask certain questions as it relates to what you want. Okay, can you cook? Right? Can you take care of a home? Or about children? How are you with children? You have to ask these questions. It's not like you're going there with a question sheet. You're not going there with a question sheet to jive these questions. Right? You're not going there with a question sheet to jive these questions. You're really just asking these questions, flowing into conversation, but ask them. Do not be surprised when you have decided upon one individual and you realize that, oh shucks, I didn't ask the right things, or I didn't look for the right things. Ask the questions based on what you want, because females choose a man, right? We will choose our men based upon what we want. Right? Even though we might not ask, that's how good we are. we observe a lot, right? And we do our little tests. Do your test, gentlemen, right? So ask the question and listen keenly to the answers. And gentlemen, you cannot change a female. You cannot. If the female says well to you that, if the lady says to you, well, listen, I am not able to cook. Right? I can't cook, so we will have to eat out. Don't go be thinking, okay, everything else is fine. I'm a man who like homely meals, so she can't cook. It's okay. I'm going to compromise, and I'm going to keep her. I'll be the one who will cook, and whenever I can cook, we will eat out, because it not gonna happen. You hear my Jamaican come out? Yes, it will not happen. It will not happen. There will be moments when you're not going to be able to keep it up. You want a balanced type of relationship, not an equal relationship, because that's not going to happen either. What you want is balance. What you really want is balance. So ask the questions based on your expectations, so that now when you have include this person in your life, you after 2-3 months, you're not regretting your decisions. Right? So you're going to find out if she is able to cook, if that's what you want, right? Or if that is important to you. You're going to find out if she likes children, because of course you're a single father, right? And you're introducing her into your life in a holistic way. It's not just you, right? So you want to find out if she likes children. Of course, you would have introduced the children to her somewhat by talking about them, but you really want to know, especially, like I said, especially if it's a female who is yet to have a child of her own, right? That's another question that you might have to ask. Gentlemen, you might already decide that, listen, I have 4. I don't need any more. I'm not interested in anymore. Find out if that is okay with her, right? Because it might not be. When you are engaging into a relationship, don't let the newness of the engagement fool you, right? Because everything is going to come to the fore, come to light, right? So don't let the newness, don't be blinded by the newness of the relationship. If the person says no to something, believe that it is no, and don't believe that it is no for no, but I will get an opportunity to change the individual. No, right? If the person says no to something and that is not okay with you, then you have a decision to make. Whether you are going to be uncomfortable and forever miserable, or you're going to move on. That is why it's important to court. And during the courtship, you ask certain questions, you do certain things together and that sort of thing, minus the sex, because the sex will cloud every decision. All right. So now she's home. You would have known all that or most of what you want to know, right? And I say most because the important things that matter are those things that you're going to speak to, right? The most important things, right? Those, peripheral things will happen, and that is when you have to come to compromising and understanding and being a little bit selfless and, that sort of things. The peripheral things will call for that. But the important things are the things that should be grounded, should be there. Right? When you compromise, you're not compromising for the important things. For example, I'm not compromising because I decide that I am the cook at my home and my husband will never cook. I'm not compromising that. But I will compromise that I'm not a movie person. I will have a television and it will not be turned on like forever. But I will compromise with him. If he wants to watch a movie, then we're going to watch a movie together. That's peripheral things. But the important things that really means the most, you're not going to compromise. You want them to be there. You want them to be there. And that is how we confuse the engagement of the relationship, because we think that everything is through, we can compromise. No, you can't. You can't. Some things you just can't. Some things must be there because those are the things that you really want. You really need. It's like air, food, water. You really need those things to be there, right? So she's there, understand. So now it's your time now to allow the process to flow, right? You have your family get together. You ensure that you take her to the function. You ensure that you introduce her to the family. When you're talking about her, you talk about her in good stead, right? If there is something that during the engagement she might have done that, wasn't so sitting well with you, you talk about it with her. Right? You're now taking her and the children on outings. Now, if she has kids, she will have to, because I would have already spoken to the females, because she will have to do her due diligence. But no, if both of you were single with children and ready to date, then the merging of the family now will be of high importance, because now you will have to ensure that the kids are getting along, the kids are meeting, the kids are, if there is a graduation at one side, the kids from the other side attending that graduation, they're merging. So you want to ensure that it is an inclusive relationship. It's a little bit easier if she has no children, and but it becomes a little bit more complicating. And why complicated? Because each child has a different personality. They're not all the same. And so you will have to deal with the varying personalities in the relationship to make it work, So it becomes a little bit more complicated when you have children on both sides. So you have to spend time. All right. Question though, how many is too much, gentlemen? For some men, they will say, yes, I will date female with children or a child, but if she has two or more, well, more than two, that's a no-no. And what determines this? I mean, each to each his own. You do have preferences, but there are times when, you have some men who will say, listen, I will not date a woman with 3 or more children. No, that's not me. If it's 1 or maybe 2, yes, but 3 more, no, that's not me. While with some others, it doesn't really matter. I believe what shouldn't really matter is the love connection between the individuals. Because believe it or not, the children will grow up and move out. Believe it or not. The children will grow up and move out. As a matter of fact, they will try to move out before they even grow up, So I believe that the focus should be on the partners. You should focus in terms of the love that you have for each other, because at the end of the day, and when I say the end of the day, I mean when you're up in age, your children are now out, and you have to beg them to come and look for you. You have to beg them to take the grandchildren to come and see you. You will still have each other. When you make a decision to be together, you make the decision first because of you, the individuals who are involved. The children become peripheral where that is concerned, right? The children become peripheral where that is concerned. How do you handle when a child is not liking the partner that you bring in the home? How do you handle it? Give the child time. You're not going to force the child to like the person. Give the child time. You know what? I've heard many stories of, families sending the children to boarding school because the child did not like the other partner. And so it was causing a problem. So they decided that, listen, I'm sending this child to boarding school so we can get time. And then, the child grew up hating the partner even more, because to them, it would seem as though that they were robbed of growing up with their parent because of this new individual, because they were shipped off to boarding school. And that is never the solution. The solution, or should I say, the attempt to solve an issue like that, where you might have children who are not liking your female partner, is to allow them time to get to know each other. And just in the same breath, as I said, do not use your material gain to wow the woman. Do not allow the female to somewhat pretend, to be overly nice, because children can see that too, right? Allow the person to be herself, right? But allow them to spend more time with the child, and you don't force the child to warm up, because they are going to be resentful. Once you force, they're going to push back, they're going to repel, right? So you want to allow the process to flow naturally and allow the child to what I want to call gel on their own terms. First, you want to find out, what is it about my partner that you don't like? Sometimes for the child, gentlemen, sometimes, especially when they are not, they really do not know a motherly love. Sometimes it's the feeling of missing that. And when you introduce someone in their life who they know is not their biological mother, at the inception, it's not that they don't like the person, but they're having regrets, I so wish this was my real mom. So sometimes talking with the children, and that is why I said to you, gentlemen, that you need to prepare the children before you introduce your partner into their lives. Prepare the children before, right? So that it will make it a little bit easier to transition into that type of relationship, knowing that, okay, it's not me and dad anymore alone. It's me, dad, and my stepmom, right? And ensure that whomever you introduce is someone who is patient and willing to care for your children while they're caring for you and the home based on what you want. And I have to say, based on what you want, whatever it is that you're comfortable with, you ensure that this person is able to provide that comfort, right? And then yes, and then so slowly the person is into your life until 10 days after you're married, you're husband and wife, Not really 10 days, but, until, soon after you realize that you're a family, you're a wholesome family. And because you give the process time and because you paid keen attention to what matters most, you realize that your relationship is more fruitful. And when I say fruitful, I'm not talking about more children, right? But you realize that there is a certain type of comfort, not just for you, but for the kids, that is just serene. You are gelling with each other. You are happy. Happy is not something that is going to be constant in the relationship. Again, you will have moments of disagreement, and those things will happen. But you see, when you have a relationship that is built on love, genuine love, trust, respect, even in the moments when you have disagreement, you find that you're disagreeing respectfully, right? And the children are not involved, and your family members are not telling you what to do and calling the names and all these things. So you want to ensure that you do it right. You see, it's kind of, like I said, it's different for the gentlemen too, because when you talk about even how they go about finding the individual, it might sometimes cause the family member to have this wrong perception of the woman even before they meet the woman. What type of woman is this? Is she just in your life or want to be in your life because of your money or, what you can do for her? Family members will do that. Family members will tell you, listen, don't go for that type of woman because those type of women, all they want is your money or they want some sort of favor, that type of thing. But you need to block out the noise. You need to understand how to block out the noise because, like I said, at the end of the day, which is in your old age when you need companionship, the only person who will be sitting by your side is that person that you would have chosen to be with you as a partner, and you would have worked on your relationship together to have it grow, to build on it, and to ensure that it lasts. What are your questions? What are your comments? Let me go to the phone here to read some of the comments that I have been getting. Well, I can't play. Well, I didn't get the chance to listen to the voice notes. I like to listen to the voice notes of, yes, Michael, I think I've already spoken about that. What about if she has children of her own? Like I said, if she has children of her own, and by the way, thank you for tuning in, Michael, my regular, my regular listener out there in Canada. Thank you. And to all my listeners out there in Canada, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're right here on YouTube, hit the subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, or like the video, like the live. Okay, so as I said, Michael, if she already has children, then it complicates it a little bit, right? Because now you're talking about, personalities, varying personalities. But both of you will have to work together on the method. Remember last week I spoke to the female as it relates to how. So it's the same thing that she would be doing on her end. She would be preparing her children, talking about this person, and then showing that she keep the initial part of the relationship outside of the home, right? She would also be talking about her children with her prospective partner, and so the same they would be doing together, right? So you will have to prepare the children on both sides, and also you will have to introduce the children as well and ensure that they are involved in what matters, right? Activities, dinner outings, whatever. It would be lovely if I had 14 children to deal with. I always liked children. I wanted 15. But anyways, it's nice to see a family with a large group and they're just gelling. You have a football team. Together you have a football team and they're just gelling, they're just loving, because it's not hard. It's not hard to acquire, but it's how we engage and the examples that we set that our children will follow. All right, so this person wants to know, what if the man's family, more so his mother, what if the man's family, more so his mother, is not for the relationship? Okay, I believe I said that as well. Do remember that you're not dating your mother, and this person said the mother, right? Thank you for your question. But do remember, you're not dating your mother, right? And at the end of the day, you will have to make that choice. Ensure that it's not a competition between you. And I know why this question came, because some mothers are still very protective of their male children. Have the mother understand that it's not a competition between her and their partner. There's no competition. She's a mother. Your partner is a partner, right? So you will have to have that discussion. And if the mother does not like the partner, you don't have to force her to like your partner, gentlemen. You don't have to. As long as your partner is respectful, doing the right things, your mother is not just liking the person because she's protective of you. Well, she will have to deal with that. It's for her to deal with that. Don't take it upon to yourself, because it's going to mess your relationship up. So if it is that this individual that you have included in your life, she is the right person and she is doing all the right things, right? She has never disrespected your mother and would never disrespect your mother, but yet your mother is not liking her, then what is your problem? That's not your problem. You have no problem. Your mom is the one with the problem. Allow her to deal with her problem, all right? All right, so thank you for your question. This other question. Okay, so yes, I know this person is not really a question, it's a statement. Says, well, men have their choices, and some men will not date women with more than one child because of financial burden. If it is a financial burden, if you consider a child to be a financial, well, a child is not a financial burden, but listen, if that is your choice, it's your choice. If a man decides that, listen, I'm not dating a woman because she has 2 or more children, that's your choice. Again, you will do your due diligence as it relates to choosing that right person when that time comes. So for that individual, right, or for those type of men who don't want to date women who has 2 or more children, naturally you would not be courting women who has 2 or more children. That's just it, right? Your opinion is your opinion, and that's fine. So what it means is that if that is your choice, you would not be seeking women who has 2 or more children. So you would shortlist. Your shortlist would start from there. How many children? 1? Yes. 2? No. Right? So your shortlist would start from there. All right. I will not play this voice note because I didn't get the chance to listen to it prior. I will not play that one either because I don't know what they're saying as yet, right? So I didn't get to listen to that one. And I have a new listener here who says, I'm new. I enjoy the program. I like the program. I quite believe in the fact that a woman and a man should date their children before including the woman or the man in the relationship. I guess what this person is saying is allow the children to be part of the engagement. Yes. Thank you for your comments. Yes, I do believe so too. So allow the children to participate in the getting to know. After you would have gotten your chance to know the female that you're going to include into your life, you're now going to allow the children to get to know this female by, doing the same thing, allowing date nights, play nights, you go into various type of activities, you're watching them in different environment to see how they interact with each other. All right. We've come to the end of the show. It's 8:30. It's 9:30 rather. So we have come to the end of the show, tonight's show. I want to say thank you so very much. Let me see if I miss anything here. Thank you so very much for joining. Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with me. This has been the Nightcap with your girl, Charlene Clark Cura. Of course, this is how we do it on the Supreme Vibes Radio. Do remember that on Thursday, we will have Memories Thursdays with yours truly, right? Also on Friday, this Friday, we will have the Sex Tea with Nadia. Well, that's not how you say it. You say Sex Tea. Yes, I'm trying the sexy voice. I'm trying Sex Tea. Yes, with Nadia Alexandra. And that will be this Friday at 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. And also on Saturday, 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. On Saturday, this Saturday, you will have the Inspirational Saturdays show with yours truly from 10 a.m. And of course, you have your live DJs who plays DJ Biggs, DJ Beefy, same person, DJ Tyrical, DJ Kurt, and they play at various times. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers, for joining. Thank you, Veronica. I see you. Thank you for all my listeners who tuned in on the Supreme Vibes Radio, your radio station of choice. Thank you to all my listeners who joined me right here on my YouTube channel, Designed to Inspire. I appreciate you. Gentlemen, ladies, if you're single with children, now is your time to go out and date. Date responsibly and ensure that you enjoy the rest of your lives together with your partner and your children. This is your girl, Charlene Clark Cura, saying goodbye, saying good night, saying good morning, whatever the time is, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week, same time, same place. Naturally, a different discussion.